Okay, and welcome to this week's South West Herts for Growth TV show. As usual, you can contact us via Twitter at L4G SW Herts. That's L4G SW Herts. And this week we have a real internationally packed show with reports from two people who happen to be out of the country at the moment. Slight other differences that we're going to start off with Catherine doing what to do this weekend. So, Catherine, what are your... Hi, how are you?
Just for a change. I'm good, thanks, Diane. Yeah, I'm going to be filling everybody in on Peace Hospice stuff and Michael Sobel Hospice stuff. There's lots happening at the Palace Theatre and the Coliseum and the Pump House this week. And obviously lots of yellow comedy news as well. And things to do over the weekend. So anything arty, crafty, music and drama, it's going on in Watford.
Great. Okay, thank you. Hi, Tania. You've got lots of local news for us as usual.
I have, Diane. Hello, and looking forward to a packed show today. As you say, international. We're going to start over here in South Oxley with the council proposing to buy out homes and businesses. Do a little bit about the council elections in Watford next week. And then a very, very special vote that we can all take part in about coffee shops.
Okay, that sounds really intriguing. The first of our international correspondents this week is Francis, and Francis is in Croatia, just about 25 miles northwest of Zagreb. Hi, Francis.
Hi, Diane. How you doing? I'm here with Lana and Orhan, and we are on a youth exchange. Erasmus program, Youth Exchange, so I'll be telling you all about that. An interesting thing, interesting experience, and hopefully you get to hear some of the participants and see what they say. But looking forward to it.
Okay, that sounds really good. Thanks very much. And our second international correspondent is Chris, who instead of doing a restaurant review this week is doing a city review for us.
I could do lots of restaurant reviews in this wonderful city of Budapest, so that's where I am right now. And yeah, it's a fabulous place. And if you ever want to go for a little city break, I can thoroughly recommend this place. And have a little chat with me first, and I'll tell you where to go.
Okay, that'd be great. We look forward to it, Chris. And finally, back in Watford, but still, in a way, dealing with international news is Neal, because he has all the news on Watford and a whole lot of other local sports news.
Hi, Diane. Yeah, this week we got a match report from the Wembley game semi-final, some news on Quique Sanchez-Flores, some excellent news about Kings Langley Football Club, and some boxing news as well.
That sounds absolutely great. And we've been talking to all the people in a short while. But first of all, last week there was several Link for Growth events. On Monday there were two Link for Coffees, one at Cafe Loco in Moore Park on the Monday morning, and another at Reason Coffee Shop on the early evening between 5 and 7:30. Both events attracted quite a number of visitors calling in and out during the hour and a half or 2 hours that they're each on. And finally, last night, Watford held its second Link for Business, hosted by Jean Flower and Simon Cox. And from the reports I've seen, everyone seems to be saying what a great and successful evening it was. As Catherine, as you've got to dash out from, later on, a bit later on, rather than you hanging around to the end like you normally do, you have the honour of starting out.
Woo! Yes, normally you've got to revive me at the end and just check I'm still awake, which of course I am, of course. I'm listening to everybody else. But yeah, I've got the first slot today. I'm starting off with some news about Peace Hospice. They've got lots and lots of things going on. I think during this 25th anniversary of theirs, they're really sort of pulling out all the stops. They've got a ride in London. This is a cycle ride in London, London to Surrey rather. So you can book a place on that and raise some money in sponsorship that way. There's 8 places up for grabs for that particular event. They've also got a swim serpentine event going on. That sounds pretty cold and chilly to me at the moment, but I'm sure there are those who will take up the challenge. If you go to the Peace Hospice website, you'll see lots of details about how to actually register for those events. Both, obviously, fantastic events raising money for the vital work that the Peace Hospice do.
Great. And they've also got an art bag exhibition launch.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Art Bag exhibition launch between the 5th of May and the 25th of June. The Art Bag project is a collaborative initiative from the Macmillan Wellbeing and Therapeutic Programme between the Starlight Centre at Peace Hospice Care and the Spring Centre at the Hospice of St Francis. There's a lot of big words in there. Have a look at the website. Have a read about what it's all about. They've got an art bag that's filled with simple creative activities. This year, weaving has provided hundreds of people in the local community with the tools that they need to create, contemplate and connect. So it's about connecting with people and creating something crafty in the meantime. So the launch of the exhibition will be on Thursday the 5th of May between 5 and 7 at the Watford Museum. More information on the Peace Hospice Care website.
Okay, and the Peace Hospice have a beer and laughs comedy night coming up as well.
Yeah, well, this is something that appeals to us in Link for Growth. We're big fans of comedy, especially yellow comedy in Link for Growth. More of that later. This is a night of speciality beer and comedy on Thursday the 28th of April. This is at the Watling Street Beer, a new microbrewery in Oldham. Beer fans, you know, get your ears around that. Hillfield Farm, Hillfield Lane in Oldham. The doors open at 7. There's a great lineup of top local class comedians with £10 from every ticket sold donated to the Peace Hospice Care. There's 2 ticket options. Both include free beer and soft drinks all night. Obviously, if you've got a designated driver, soft drinks are key, especially with the new alcohol guidelines these days. Again, lots of information on the Peace Hospice Care website. That's on the 28th of April.
Okay, now the Peace Hospice is cycling between London and Surrey, as you told us earlier, but St Francis Hospice are going for Land's End to John O'Groats, and they've still got places free.
Absolutely. This is a favourite route. Everybody loves a Land's End to John O'Groats route, but it's a mighty long route, roughly 1,000 miles, passing through some of the most stunning and remote countryside in the British Isles. This is quite a challenge. This will be running from, cycling. Is it cycling?
Yes, cycling.
Yes. I confused myself with running there. It's not running at all, it's cycling. From May the 3rd to the 15th or August the 30th till September the 11th. So obviously this is almost a week-long challenge. So you've got to be a little bit fit to take this challenge up. So time to get into training now. You can sign up via the website, the Hospice of St Francis website. Registration is £299, and they do ask for a minimum fundraising target of £2,600. So this is, as I say, quite a serious challenge, but one that I'm sure there'll be some takers for. Yeah, fantastic. Have a look on the website for a bit more info on that.
Okay, and St Francis also have guaranteed spots in the Great Nwofor Run this year.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, this is. I'm intrigued by the 13.1 mile route. 0.1 mile. Who decided that it was 13.1 miles? I don't know.
It's half a marathon.
Oh, okay, fine. No, fair enough. Just seems a really odd number, that's all. You can tell I'm not a marathon runner. This is on Sunday, the 11th of September. Registration is £50. Minimum sponsorship of £500, please. They build it here. Certainly no longer the local fun run as it was marketed when it started in 1981. This has become a really, really popular event. And as you mentioned, the Hospice of St Francis has some places spaces in the event, and they're asking, if you can run, please run for them and raise some money for them. So all the details are on the website to sign up. Again, a fantastic thing.
Okay, now, Ladies in the Night 2016, Michael Sobel Hospice. I mean, is there something we should know here?
I'm not sure I want to comment on that. Yeah, I think we mentioned this one before, but this is actually now team entry bookings. Yeah, this is a nighttime walk, a bit like the Starlight Walk, I suppose, but this is for the Michael Sobel Hospice. Ladies in the Night, walking through the night. Entry fee includes a T-shirt, sponsor form, information booklet, and breakfast, which I think is a nice idea. The walk is on well-lit roads. There'll be lots of marshals around, entertainment along the way. You can choose from a 5.5 or a 9 mile route. Registration opens up at 8:30 on the day. You get lots of information again on their website about this. They ask you to set up an online giving page so that you can keep track of all the amazing amounts of sponsor money that you're going to raise. So all the information is on there. They're thrilled that last year they raised an incredible £126,000 through doing this with over 1,100 walkers. So they're really hoping to do much the same thing again now. I think it's £20 per person to enter, and so they are asking for teams now, 10 or more people in a team. So get yourself registered.
Okay, that's great. One event that isn't taking place this year is the Watford 10K charity run, unfortunately.
Yes, this is a real shame, but we can kind of understand because there's lots and lots of work going on in Canterbury Park at the moment. It's a shame because it's a popular event and it's also the main fundraising event for MenCap. So they will suffer, unfortunately. But they are hoping to arrange their very first Santa Dash instead. So no 10K in the park this year, but instead we're looking forward to having a Santa Dash on Sunday the 4th of December. So they're busy planning the event for December. If we can all keep our eyes peeled for that a bit nearer the time, then hopefully we can raise some much valued funds for MenCap that way instead.
Okay, that sounds great. And in Rickmansworth, you can love your yarn shop day.
Yes, you had to say this twice to me earlier. I wasn't quite sure what it was all about. But if you love yarn, as in...
I'm not mean ripping yarns, I mean yarn as in wool.
Exactly, yes. Oh, I get it now. Then come and join the Love Your Yarn Shop Day from 10 till 3 this Saturday at St Martin's Church, Muirfield Road in South Oxley. CLP is a local charity specialising in community learning, particularly around arts and crafts at subsidised prices. So they're asking you to come and find out about their courses, take part in their crochet and knitting workshops. They'll have yarn on sale with 10% discount on Stylecraft, as well as yarn to try without buying. There's coffee and cake as well, so what's not to like? That's tomorrow in South Oxley.
Okay, and if you like early mornings, and I had one this week, in fact I had two this week, Dawn Chorus have a Leaves and Country Park have a wildlife walk and talk.
Yeah, this sounds like a bit of fun for those that like to get up early at the weekends. Obviously, I'm not one of them. Do it during the week, but I can't do it at the weekends, I'm afraid. But for those that do, Leaves and Country Park, Sunday the 1st of May, 5 a.m. in the morning. That means you have to get up before then in order to be there for 5 a.m. in the morning until 7:30. Then you can go and have breakfast somewhere. All ages are welcome. Children must be accompanied by an adult at all time. Enjoy the Dawn Chorus and learn how to identify birds by their songs and calls. For more information, you can call 01923 776611 or visit threerivers.gov.uk website. But yeah, it's all about bats, birds and butterflies, wildlife walks and talks. So go see the Dawn Chorus. Go hear the Dawn Chorus.
Well, I was up photographing bluebells and had to be at this place by 5 o'clock, so I know what it feels like.
Oh.
Quality of light at that time was fabulous. It was cold, so wrap up warm. There's no like residual overnight heat.
Absolutely. A thermals and a woolly hat, I would say.
Yeah. And if you have got cold on your country walk, you can perhaps do some Morris dancing to warm up.
Absolutely, yes. Morris dancing, Morris men, Watford's Morris men, this May Day. They're going to be in Canterbury Park, dancing from dawn again. Good grief. What's wrong with people? Dancing from dawn in Canterbury Park on Sunday the 1st of May. They're meeting by the bridge over the River Gage, north end of the park, at 5 a.m. They were formed in 1957. They're very popular around Watford. Their roots stretch back to being the members of the Phoenix Folk Club based in Woodside Park, Finchley. Moved to Watford in the mid-1960s, and they've been dancing round pubs and parks around Hemel, Watford and Rickmansworth area ever since. They have strong links with the Pump House. Do go and support them at 5 a.m. in Canterbury Park. That's if you're not listening to the Dawn Chorus, of course.
Well, you know, you've just got to get with the programme. 5 a.m. is to nearly 9 p.m. It's time to go out and socialise, believe me. Okay, now, One Man, Two Governors. Now, this isn't a nightmare work scenario. It's the title of a play at the Pump House.
Yes, yes, quite. One Man, Two Governors. It's a play by Richard Bean, an English adaptation of Servant and Two Masters, which some people might be more familiar with the name. It's got a bit of a gangster theme to it. There's a chap who's employed by two different dodgy geezers, basically, and they turn out to be not quite what they seem at the beginning. So, yeah, it's a bit of an intriguing one. This is One Man, Two Governors at Watford Pump House. It's running from the 3rd to the 7th of May. Ticket prices are really small on this. Ticket prices are £11.50 unless you're going to the preview night on the 3rd of May, and then they're £10. They're adults £14, concessions £11.50, and that's 3rd to the 7th of May at the Pump House.
Okay, and the Palace Theatre continuing with Wipers, which is what we talked about last week.
That's right. Yeah, this is the play set in 1914 during the Great War. Ypres in Belgium, British forces. Yes, it's a story based around a group of people who basically have to decide what to do. There's some difficult decisions in their particular predicament. So this is at Watford Palace Theatre. It's running from, well, it finishes on 4th of May. It has been running for the last few days. Yes, Friday, Saturday there's also a matinee, of course, at 2:30. Wednesday there's a matinee as well. Otherwise it's 7:30 in the evening. There are rumour tickets available, which are tickets for young people, where you only pay a £5 if you're aged between 16 and 25. Fantastic value. And actually it's free to be a rumour member as well. All you need to do is just let the Palace Theatre know. Otherwise, ticket prices range between £12 and £23.50. But it sounds like a good deal. It sounds like a good production. Okay.
Tania talked about this last week. Just a quick reminder, there are still 1 or 2 auditions for the James and the Giant Peach workshop.
Yes, absolutely. This is anyone who's aged between 13 and 19, you love the theatre and you want to get involved in Herts County Youth Theatre, who are auditioning for their brand new show, James and the Giant Peach. There are a few audition dates still available. If you have a look on the Palace Theatre website, then you'll see where they are and also how to register. It's a great opportunity if you're into drama, if you're thinking about taking up drama either for A-levels or beyond uni, college or whatever, then it's a great experience to get involved in.
Okay, that's great. And Lucia de l'Amour, delayed opera screening from the Royal Opera House, is being shown at the Palace again.
Absolutely, yes. Now this has an age rating of 15 and a little warning that there are some scenes featuring sex and violence. It sounds like a pretty dramatic thing going on here. Yes, Lucia de l'Amour tells the story of an ongoing feud between two families in 17th century Scotland that has terrible consequences for two young lovers. It contains what is undoubtedly one of opera's most poignant and gripping mad scenes and is regarded as one of Donizetti's finest works. So, yeah, a bit of a dramatic theme here. This is going to be on Sunday the 1st of May. It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Say age rating of 15. So do please note, it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's £15, and there are no concessions for that one.
Okay, great. And the Palace is showing a film on Monday afternoon, which is the 2nd, and of course the bank holiday. So if it's raining, this is what you could do.
Yes, raining, that's the place to be. Go to Watford Palace Theatre, fill it out. This is billed as the inspirational true story of Irish philanthropist Christina Noble, who endured a traumatic childhood before a dream sent her to Southeast Asia to establish a foundation to help impoverished and at-risk children. Deirdre O'Kane and Downton Abbey's Brendan Cole star in this. It's called Noble. It's at Watford Palace Theatre. It's on Monday the 2nd of May, 7:30 in the evening. £8, concessions £6.50. Rumour tickets only £4 for this one. So even more of a bargain.
Okay, that's great. And Yellow Comedy have 2 gigs, one tomorrow and one next Friday, which is why you have the Yellow Bucket.
Yellow Comedy. Andrew's going to see this Yellow Bucket tomorrow and he's going to be thrilled. He's currently using one of my bags to collect money when we do these comedy evenings at the moment. So I think he'll see the funny side of me providing him with a bucket, a much-needed bucket. This is at Attico tomorrow night. Attico is in the lower half of the main high street. It's free to get in. Might not be free to get out, hence the bucket. Doors open at 7, comedy starts at 7:30. Headliner tomorrow is Steve Owen Williams. Also appearing are Kelsey de Almeida. Oh gosh, that's a tricky name. Sikiza Bostwick Barnes, I hope I've got that right. Hilary Fox, Sabin Kazim, Reverend Henry King, Valerio Serra, and of course our resident MC, Andrew Carberry, which is much easier to say. It's free to come. See you there.
Yep. And next Friday at the 6th, Chris can have some lemon drizzle cake with this comedy.
Yes, quite. This is going to be at the kitchen in Croxley. Do you know, I've just closed down that little window, Diane. I don't know what time it starts. 8 o'clock at the kitchen in Croxley. Now, I have a feeling that we have a guest list this time, 30 places to go and see Yellow Comedy at the kitchen. It's a cosy venue, but it was such good fun last time. You really feel it's quite an intimate venue and you get to know everybody quite well. But the lemon drizzle cake is to die for, so it's all worth it, of course, and for the amazing comedy, of course, as well.
Okay. And the Coliseum has something on tomorrow evening.
Yes. Now this looks like a really good thing. I didn't know this was going on, and I'm normally up on the Coliseum things. This is Yolanda Brown. She's a well-known saxophonist, and she's a double MOBO award-winning saxophonist, in fact. And she's bringing a special set titled Reggae Love Songs. The evening will also feature Misha Paris. Most people will have heard of her, I'm sure, but also Yolanda Brown has had a glittering career. She's been all over the place with her own music. She's been part of various other groups. She's toured in support of The Temptations, Errol Brown, Courtney Pine, and she's also been part of Jules Holland's Rhythm and Blues Orchestra. So he's also coming to Watford Coliseum soon, I believe. So this is Yolanda Brown, Reggae Love Songs, on Saturday the 30th of April. Not sure what time. It's at 8 o'clock. There you go.
Yeah, and there's Abbey Blue at the lobby band.
Yes, absolutely. Before Yolanda Brown comes on, the Watford Coliseum does a series of Lobby Live presentations, which is basically showcasing local talent, local bands, local singer-songwriters. They're going to be presenting April Blue, which is, I'll read that little bit of blurb. It's the legacy of Lost Love Triangle between founding members Oz LP, Ian Morcher, and the alluring April, the band's namesake. So this is it's a collection of music that they're putting on, which is going to complement the whole evening. They do a bit of rock, R&B, jazz, blues. So it's going to be a whole evening of fantastic music by the sound of it. You can go along and see the Lobby Live music without actually having to go to the concert if you don't want to. The Lobby Live music is free.
Okay, that's great. And the Horns have their usual lineup of gigs over the weekend.
They do, yes. They've got lots and lots of things going on, as usual. They've got DJ Wayne tonight. That's £3 tonight from 9 till 1, if that's your thing. They've got Replica Rockaholics on tomorrow evening, 9:30 till 1. That's a free one. Sunday the 1st of May, you can get funky down there. That's another free one at 4 p.m. In the evening, they've got 9:30 onwards. They've got Crazy Dog, which is a 5-piece rock covers band. That'll be one to get your bank holiday Monday started, I'm sure. Come Monday, they've got the Good Old Boys, which is blues rock. That's a free one as well, and that's from 4 till 7. And then a little bit later on, 8:30 through the evening, they've got Oxygen at the Horns. Every Monday night, they do local indie acts, keeping music live and kicking, and it's free. And all the details are on the Horns website.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Catherine. There's no restaurant review from you, which is why we've got Chris doing a city review instead. But thank you very much, as usual, and catch up with you sometime over the next week or so.
Thank you very much. I wish everybody a good weekend now because I'm dashing off. Ta-ra!
Bye. Okay, now Francis.
Hello.
Hello. Now you're in Croatia. You're in the you're running part of this Erasmus Youth Exchange program. You talked about the show last August when you had people from Central and Eastern Europe visiting Watford, and this time you're taking people from Watford and the surrounding areas out to Croatia, which is part of the world I know very well. So what is the Erasmus Youth Exchange program?
Basically, the Erasmus Youth Exchange program is a program that's developed, that's sponsored by the European Union, and is used for educating young people using non-formal learning and getting them to associate and understand each other's culture. So basically teaching them competencies rather than being in the classroom, they are using exponential learning to learn different skills.
Okay, so how many times a year do these exchange programs run?
Well, basically, I'm here with Lana. She organised this one. We're participating in this one. Lana organised it. And just to tell you about this particular program, Lana will explain to you what this one is.
Okay.
Okay, so this particular youth exchange that is now taking place in Croatia lasts for 10 days, and the topic is, as the name of the project is, Back to the Roots. We teach young people about some values that have been forgotten, like the natural resources and how we can use it, from herbs, plants, and also inspiring them to spend more time doing different sports in nature, leading an active and healthy lifestyle. And during the year, depending on the results of the applications, we run approximately 5 to 10 youth exchanges a year, but this depends on the if the projects get approved by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Commission.
So basically, every organization can run as many programs as they want, so there's no X amount of number. It's how many do you want to run, how many you get approved, and whether you have a good project, and whether the national agency in the UK is the British Council and Nwofor, and they evaluate the program, and if they feel they want to support it, then they'll pass it forward to be funded. And here is my man, Bo. He coordinated. He made me hike for 2 days. So, you want to say something?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Sure, as Francis said, this is a great experience for us, and also for me. This project is one of the best that I've participated in, also lead. We are learning a lot of new stuff, hike, go outside, hang out, have fun, learn from each other on a non-formal way, and but we are learning a lot in the same time.
Well, that's really great. So it's all about learning, the old mathematical thing, 1 and 1 equals 3, is it, Francis? You take two people, you combine their efforts, and you get a greater result than you would if they worked individually.
That's true, yes, just as you said there, Brian, yeah.
Yeah, and it's all done in a non-formal structure, because non-formal structures don't appeal to everyone, do they?
They don't, and actually they don't. However, depending on the program, the idea behind this one is that if you're interested in the theme of the program, then you would also appreciate the non-formal learning behind it. So, for example, if this one's about herbs, and most of the people here have an inclination to liking herbs and hiking, so they are all into the non-formal activity associated with this program. I mean, if they all are actors and dancers, then they might not be here, or they will not be anyway. Okay. I just want to introduce Duro. He's from the UK, and he's not Indian. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi there.
Yeah.
So could you tell me a little bit about how you've benefited from doing the program so far?
I've benefited a lot. I mean, it's definitely taken me out of my comfort zone. Like Francis said, we were out 2 days hiking. I'm a city boy from London. I'm used to concrete floors and high-rise buildings. To be out in the woods for 2 days, sleeping out in the woods, campfire, and eating things in the woods. A very different experience for me. And, it's something that I wouldn't have done by myself. So this opportunity, as this youth exchange has given me that opportunity to be able to actually experience something that I would have never experienced on my own. And actually, I might even do it again.
Okay. So when you get back to the UK, and if you could just, before you answer the question, just hold the microphone a little closer to your mouth, please. When you get back to the UK, how do you think it's going to benefit you in your everyday life?
I also work with young people in the UK. I run an organisation which we work with young people that have been involved in street crime. We teach them how to use the skills that they acquire from that transferable skills. So I pick up a lot of things and transferable knowledge that I can pass across to those young people as well from this project. The fact that there are actually certain plants in herbs that you can use to heal or treat minor illnesses like headaches, and instead of using painkillers, there are actually plants and herbs that you can actually have easy access to, while you're just drinking tea. Paracetamol. There's little things like that for our young people as well.
Okay, that's absolutely great. Francis.
Yes.
If you live in South West Hertfordshire, how do you enrol on this program? How do you find out when the next opportunities are available?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Well, how do you find out about enrolling on the next Erasmus Exchange program that you're running?
Basically, I mean, there's two ways to find out as to what's happening. The first one is there's a website called Salto, and there every partner or every organization that has a PIC number or that has been accredited by the European Union can post projects that they're doing. Also, another way, which is the way we prefer, is that we make partners, we form links, like Lana. We met I think 2 years ago, and we formed links, and whenever she has a project, she notifies me. When I have a project, I notify her, and also other partners I have, when they have projects, they notify me. Incidentally, in this April, we have submitted, I think, 4 applications from the dojo, and we've been asked to partner in another 3 projects. So it's basically networking on a European level. So we're networking by partners. You like the projects, you link up, and you send to young people or participate yourself, as you can see I'm doing.
So, very briefly, are there age limits? Do you have to be in between, I don't know, 18 and?
Yes, for this particular program, it's called a Key Action 1. For the youth exchange, it's between, from the European Union criteria, 13 to 30. So if you're in that age range, you can participate. However, each partner then sets their own target group. So for this one, I think they were looking for 18 to 25. Yeah. Now, for training courses, you can be from 18 upward. So 18 to 105 if you want.
Okay. Okay. So what's left in the program to do?
Today we went out this morning on a bike ride, and we collected herbs from around the vicinity, and we came back and we classified it. I don't know if I turn the thing around, you can see our table herbs on it. Do you have a table there?
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's a table there with herbs that we picked, and we classified them with the help of Lana, who is actually a biologist by degree. So we're in good hands. Yes. Okay.
Well, that's great. I think it's time to say cheerio, but thank you very much for telling us all about the program and how it benefits people. And have a safe trip back.
We will indeed.
And we'll no doubt catch up with you when you're back in South West Herts at some point.
Okay, sure. All right. Thanks a lot, Diane. Enjoy.
That's okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. Great. Hi, Tania.
Hi there, Diane. Wasn't it lovely to hear from them over all the way in Croatia?
It was. The sound was a little bit quiet, but I think we overcome most of the problems, which is good.
Yep.
Now, we talk about the Metropolitan Line extension, and we talked about possible regeneration of that part of Watford, and it seems as if someone's come up with a concept of what they're going to do in that kind of area.
It does, Diane, yes. So Orion Land and Leisure And the pairs group are the someones that have come up with the concept of what they're going to do, and what they're proposing is to build more than 200 homes and 100,000 square feet of office space over there in Ascot Road. So that's where we used to go and collect things from the post office sorting office, and where we go past to get to the post office sorting office now. But that land over there, down in between Watford and Croxley, the developers say the project will cost about 100 million, and of course 200 homes in the area will boost housing in the area. It's next to the proposed Cassibridge station, as part of the Met Line extension, so that will be really, really handy for people travelling anywhere on the Met Line. So yeah, really early stages yet, but they're really very positive about it.
Okay.
I think we mentioned it before actually, and we said that there was some groundworks that needed to be done to clear up some pollution in the area. So presumably that's all progressing nicely.
Yeah, yes, I think that's quite an issue down around where old Printworks used to be, because a lot of the inks in the old inks had lots of toxins in.
That'll be what it is then, Diane.
Yes. See, all those lectures I sat through at art college did something for me, taught me something anyway. Now, a project that is a regeneration project that is much further on is the one in Three Rivers to do with South Oxley, and the council have issued compulsory purchase orders.
Yes, that's right. We've talked about this a lot over the times, and this is going to be an amazing regeneration for that area. An awful lot of things going on to regenerate the whole area from the tube station upwards, really, or outwards is probably a best way to call it. And all of those homes and businesses in that area are now apparently subject to CPO, compulsory purchase order. So the council will buy back those properties and then be able to build the new buildings that are going to be there, the new town that's going to be there, and the 7-storey building that's going to be at the top of the north side of the existing precinct, 3-storey townhouses, 2 new roads, and of course they're going to get a new supermarket, which at the moment is apparently going to be a Lidl. So yeah, all of those CPOs are being handed out now, ready for people to hopefully find somewhere else to live in the short term while all of that is being redeveloped.
Okay, that's well, I don't know if it's good news or bad news. I suppose it depends on how you look at it, really, doesn't it?
I'm guessing, Diane, it depends on how much the council is offering you for your property if they're trying to buy it from you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there's a new phone scam going around, and we just thought it might be of interest to people in the way that we all tend to use these mobile phones quite a lot now.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, Diane. So, as far as I can gather, the telephone call comes in to you from an 08 number, and then you hear nothing more until at some point later you're hit with charges of more than £300 for calls lasting up to 12 hours. So at the point that you get your bill, you're hit with this extra large bill, and you've forgotten about the telephone call because it was just an 08 number that came in. I have no idea about it at all, but maybe we ought to be just a little bit apprehensive, or just a little bit careful when we're answering calls from an 08 number, because currently there's this scam going around, and Ofcom are investigating it, so presumably there'll be some sort of thing coming out very shortly.
Okay. Now, this week coming up is the Watford Borough Council elections, and unusually it's the whole borough council. It's every councillor in the borough who is up for re-election, which is fairly unusual.
That's right, yes. So the whole of the borough council is set for, well, a challenge, a change, potentially whatever you want, whatever that your councillors turn out to be. The Mayor is not defending her seat at the moment. She'll stay in post until 2018, but everyone else is potentially changing. So this is on the 5th of May, and that's the same date as for the police, the PCC, Police and Crime Commissioner. So you're all going to the polls next week on Thursday to elect the people who you want to represent you. So any changes in Watford, anyone that you think has got a great idea about changes in Watford, and that's the sort of thing that you want to be looking at probably when you're making your choice into who to vote for next Thursday in Watford. All the big names are there putting forward candidates. The Conservatives, the Lib Dems, the Greens, Labours and UKIP. Only UKIP don't have a manifesto for the area, but all of the other four do. And all of the information about the people who are standing and the manifestos is available on the website.
Okay, that's great. Dates Rickmansworth are going to hold their first month of folk music.
Yes, I know lots of people who like folk music, so the month of July is going to become a lovely month for all of those friends who like folk music. And in Rickmansworth, starting with a concert at St Mary's Church on Saturday, July 2nd, will be Julie Felix. She's a folk singer, so she's going to be the first event to start off the month of folk in Ricky down there in July. Other highlights in the week include Folk at the Bear on Tuesday the 5th of July, Ricky Folk on Tuesday the 12th, and at the Conservative Club, and Morris at the Lock. So the second mention of Morris dancers on the show today. Morris at the Lock on Wednesday, July the 20th. On Saturday, July 30th, there'll be a whole day of dance and folk. The grand openings outside Watersmeet at 11 AM. There will be events throughout the day with folk singing and Morris sides dancing and various locations around the town, including Batchworth Lock. And it'll end at St Mary's where it starts on Saturday, July 30th. So plenty going on. If you're a folk aficionado or a folk enjoyer, if you enjoy folk music, down in Ricky this July.
Yeah, exactly. If you like folk music, you might well like coffee as well. And the Watford Observer are holding a readers' poll for the best independent coffee shop in Watford.
They are, Diane. Fancy that? Watford Observer holding as you say, a poll. So whatever your coffee that you like, however you like it, go along to the Watford Observer and vote for your favourite coffee shop. Now, I have to say, there are some fabulous coffee shops listed, but there is one that isn't listed that we would expect to be listed. So let me tell you who's there and what the voting currently stands at. So far, Amici at Croxley Green has got 5% of the vote. Bean here at Hunton Bridge, just off the big roundabout there at Hunton Bridge, has got 4% of the vote. The Coffee Bros, St Albans Road, has got 16% of the vote, so they're doing quite well. La Bottega Italiana in Market Street, Watford, has got 5% of the votes. Eats and Treats, St Albans Road, has got 7% of the votes. Fred and Ginger in Kings Langley has got 5%. Fresh at Market Street, where we meet at the Link for Business, has got 1% of the vote. Junction Cafe, where we meet for Sunday breakfast once a month, has got 2% of the vote. The Kitchen in Croxley, again, 2% of the vote. Of course, we meet there, and that's where our famous lemon drizzle cake comes from. LJ's down Pinner Road, opposite Bushy Station, has got 4% of the vote. The two leaders at the moment, the LP Cafe, right next door to me here, has got 19% of the vote, and that 19% is 47 votes. Ocean Bells has got 22%, and that's 54 votes. And Perk Coffee Ocean Bells, of course, down the bottom end of the high street.
Oh, and they also host a Link for Growth coffee event.
They do, of course, you're right. They also host Link for Growth coffee. Then we've got Perk Coffee. The parade in Carpenter's Park has got 5% of the vote.
Another Link for Growth host.
I didn't know that, Diane, so that's another Link for Growth one. Rhubarb. Do we have anything at Rhubarb on Cassiebury Drive?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm sure once Chris finds out there's a new coffee shop, aren't they connected with Link for Growth? He'll be in there.
That's right. They currently have 1% of the vote, but the big missing person is our Neal at Reason Coffee Shop and Bookshop. So I have given a comment at the bottom through Facebook to tell them of their exclusion, and hopefully they'll be added to the list. But as I say, at the moment, the LP and Ocean Bells are way ahead. So if you've got a favourite coffee shop, then get along to the Watford Observer news page and vote in the poll.
Okay, and when does the poll close? Do you know?
Ooh, Diane, I'll have to read once again to get that. I don't know. Do you know? It doesn't say here.
Right. If I can see anything.
I can't see a thing.
No, it doesn't actually say, does it? Doesn't say who or when or anything like that. But no doubt it will be soon.
Maybe it's ongoing. You've got to keep voting.
Could
You
be.
did have to log in to put your vote. So there you go. 244 votes in total have been cast so far.
Yeah, okay. Well, well, hopefully they'll add Reason to the list as well, and then it can be a fair contest with all the coffee shops in the area.
It is only independent coffee shops, so that's a really, really good thing. It's nice to see the Observer getting behind our independent businesses. Fabulous.
Agreed. Slightly different matter. We talk about food and drink for us at coffee shops and everything. Last week you talked about National Compost Week in Hertsmere, and this week Three Rivers are dishing out the compost.
They are, absolutely. So yes, you said in Hertsmere it was last week. Now it's Three Rivers. So if you're a resident in Three Rivers, get along to St James Altham Swimming Pool in South Oxley, starting at 9:30 a.m. until the compost runs out, or 2 p.m. at the latest on the 11th of May. You'll only get up to 2 bags per household. First comes, first serve, and bring your own bags. The compost being donated by West London Composting, who are the people who process the brown bin waste in that area. So go along, get as much as you can fit in 2 bags, and enjoy spreading it on your garden to see fabulous blooms later on in the year.
Okay, that's great, and thank you very much, Tania, for your contribution. As usual, lots of local news and everything, but for some reason Watford Council had no new news from their website. I presume they think they're in purdah because it's the election.
Possibly, Diane, possibly. Have a lovely rest of the show. I'm going to leave you now because I've got stuff to do too. So thanks very much, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks very much, Tania. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, Chris. Are you joining us?
Hello.
Hello. We've only got your sound. Ah, that's better. We've got your picture as well.
Yeah.
Now, Catherine can't hang around to do a review today, so what we thought was something a bit different is viewers probably know that you go to Budapest on a fairly regular basis. So we thought we'd get you to do a pen portrait and a review of Budapest, and perhaps give us some pointers as to the places to visit when you're in Budapest.
Yeah, well, I'll just give you a bit of sort of infrastructure background to start with, because there's a lot to do in Budapest, and but getting around is something that you're going to have to do. If you go to somewhere like Prague, you can pretty much walk about in a square mile, and you can pretty much see everything. But what I like about Budapest is you've got to get on the public transport and you've got to go and explore a bit. So if you if you're fairly mobile and you quite like exploring and you want to go out and travel about a bit and dig around and find stuff, Budapest is perfect for that. Now, the weather here, it's like British weather, it's just a bit more dry and a bit hotter in the summer, and it's a bit more dry and a bit more cold in the winter. And the spring and the autumn appear to be very short. So, the money here is the forint, about 400, just under, I think it is, to the pound at the moment. Things here are quite lower in price, but things like shoes aren't. Shoes are probably more expensive than they are in Britain, and you don't get so many bargain shops here, but you do get prices in general for food, and certainly for alcohol, are a lot cheaper than back in Blighty. So if you're going to come to Budapest, you really want to get if you're here for a weekend, you can get a weekend visitor's pass for the transport, which allows you to use the Villamos, which is the trams, the trolley buses, which are kind of running around on electric. These are a bit like railways, but buses, and they kind of stick to a route because they're fueled by electricity. And the metro, there's 4 basic lines here for the metro, a lot shorter, a lot smaller, and not as deep as they are in the UK, but nevertheless very useful. And the public transport is absolutely amazing. And for £14 or £12, you can use the buses and the trams and the metro freely for the whole weekend. So it's incredibly good value. Places to go to. Well, the tallest place in Budapest is Gellert Hill, which is Gellert Hedge. You can go up to the top of that. You can walk up, we can get a bus up there, but walking's quite good fun. It's quite nice parkland. It's quite pleasant in the summer. But at the top, there's kind of some statues and stuff which are quite good. But you get an awesome view of Budapest from the top there, and all the bridges and the Danube and stuff. So it really is beautiful. I remember going up there one day for a visit, and it was foggy, and and you couldn't see a damn thing. You were better off standing on one of the bridges over the Danube at the time. Anyway, it's a good place, lovely crisp summer day. It would be amazing up there. The next place I would recommend going to is the Castle District. Now, that's just across the way. It's on the same side of the Danube as the Citadel, but this is kind of the old museum and of some fantastic people live there, but it's a fantastic district. It's just steeped in history, and you've got things like some very old churches there, museums, galleries, and all sorts. But it's just very pleasant, cobbled streets, very oldie worldy, fantastic architecture, and some great restaurants and stuff up there as well. So well worth a visit. And there's a thing called the Halas Bastion, which is next to it, which is essentially a walk along a kind of balustrade overlooking the Parliament, which is on the other side, opposite side of the Danube. And I really do recommend, if you go to, it's called Fisherman's Bastion, basically. But it's very, very well worth a walk along there. Some amazing views of the Danube and the city of Budapest. Next stop, get on the first metro, a little yellow metro, get on that and get out to Heroes Square. You'll see lots of statues up there, but the St. Nwofor City Museum is there, which is a bit like the British Museum at Trafalgar Square. You'll get a lot of Monet there and a lot of, all of those kind of new wave artists there. And it's just a fabulous place, and it's right next to the city park, which is called Város Liget. And in there you've got the zoo, and you've got a mini sort of pleasure park, and also a swimming pool and sort of massage sort of area, and it's all combined there. And a lot of people have their wedding pictures taken over there. So if you're in there at a weekend, you'll spot a few interesting other local stuff that's happening as well.
So architecturally wise, Chris, horrible feedback. Architecturally wise, Chris, is it all modern, or is it all old-fashioned buildings, or is it a mixture of both?
It's a real mixture. If you get onto Buda side, which is the hilly side of Budapest, you will get much. It's less modern. The streets are more eclectic. You've got a lot of different architecture in the same street, but it's very much more leafy. But it's terrible. The traffic jams there are not as good, and the transport's a little bit more woeful. But on the other side, on Pest, it's a lot flatter, and you've got more structured roads, which are, you know, much more of a north to south and east to west type of stuff. And again, the architecture is quite eclectic. You've got near the city, near Váci utca, which is the main shopping street, a bit like Oxford Street. A lot more traditional buildings, a lot of the sort of more the sites like the opera house and stuff like that are all nearer to the centre. And as you move out from the city, of course, it gets more like big flats, concrete flats, which house a gazillion people, but probably built by the Russians when they were over there, and functional but not very beautiful.
Okay, well, thank you for that. It's what, an hour and a half flight time from London?
2 hours, 10 minutes, something like that from Luton. It doesn't really get cheaper if you do it well in advance. But the airline is Wizz Air. That's sort of Middle Europe and Eastern European airline, which is you have to fold your legs up and put them in the overhead locker because there is absolutely no room. But you know, you can get. I got my last trip out here for about 20 quid return, so you can get some bargains. But it doesn't appear to work that you book months in advance. You get a better price. It's kind of a bit like pot luck, really. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for that pen portrait of Buda and recommending some places to go and see. It sounds fascinating. Hopefully you'll have some decent photos that you can share on Facebook or on something like that to tag on to the bottom of the YouTube recording later this weekend.
Yeah, I'll do. I've got loads of pictures of Budapest that I haven't been out today because I'm over here writing a book, for heaven's sake. That's what I'm supposed to be here for, not out there gallivanting in the streets.
Go gallivanting, Chris. It's much nicer. Okay, well, thank you for that, Chris, and have a great weekend and a safe trip back.
Thank you very much. You've lost Neal at the moment, so you might not need to. Oh, you're back!
Hello.
No, Neal does this every week.
Yeah, this time, sorry, I was a bit distracted. I was just contacting the Watford Observer on every sort of social media and website to find out why my shop wasn't in their poll.
Absolutely right. That's the right thing to be doing. And
funny, I didn't even know it was happening. So there you go. Anyway, on to the sport.
Okay, on to the sport. Well, thanks, Chris, and as I said, have a safe trip home.
Thank you.
Chris.
Okay. Neal, last Sunday we previewed about it, we talked about it, we were all full of hope, and then it all went a bit kind of flat, didn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, what a shocking day. Started out with all the hope in the world, amazing atmosphere, the crowd were really on it, everyone dressing up and taking their kids and tweeting, Facebooking about it. And unfortunately, when the game started, it didn't take long to go flat. There was an early goal, very poorly let in by Watford at the back post from a corner, not defended. And although the crowd did their best to keep going, the team on the pitch didn't give them much to cheer about.
And there were also a couple of injury worries for Watford.
Yeah, so stumbling through the first half, managing not to let another goal in. We didn't actually concede too many chances, it's just we didn't look like we had any threat of our own. Etienne Capoue went in for a challenge and went down hard and had quite a bit of treatment on the pitch. Went off, tried to come back on, next challenge, unfortunately, the stretcher had to come on for him. So that looked like really bad news for him at the time. Luckily, now we know it's not as bad as feared. He is going to be out for a few weeks, but the early fears straight after the game that it was a very serious injury. So bad news on the day, but good news for the future.
Okay, so in a way that kind of summed up the whole game, didn't it? You know, disjointed.
Yeah, because after the second half we come out, we had up the work rate a little bit, and excellent goal by Dini to pull it back to 1-1, coming near post at the corner, winning a header, and getting it in for a fine angle. So the crowd goes wild. We're all back in it for about 10 minutes. Watford start pressurising and playing a little bit of their old style of football, putting the pressure on the other teams. And then a very, very slack goal. Niam not being able to defend out on the left. Palace's left, sorry, and easy crossover and an unchallenged header from quite a way out that both maybe the keeper and Ake should have done better with. So overall, very disappointing. It was hard to come away feeling too upset because we just didn't play well enough to get anything from the game.
Okay, well, in a way, that's kind of more dispiriting than if they at least put in the effort and were unlucky.
Yeah, exactly. If Everton fans the day before lost pretty much the last kick of the ball, and then that would have been devastating for them. But for Watford to not turn up for the second time against Crystal Palace is quite hard for the fans to take.
Yeah. Okay. Now that may or may not have some sort of effect or impact on the future of Quiche Sanchez Flores. Now, if we'd have had this discussion back in December, we'd have been told we're silly, stupid, we don't know what we're talking about. But there do seem to be all sorts of reports and rumours going around that Flores will be leaving at the end of the season. Yeah,
and there's been rumours bubbling under for a little while now, but they're coming from so many sources that now you have to think there has to be something to it. The owners aren't backing him. He's pretty much himself said he was worried about the turnover of managers at the club. Players are tweeting open dissent about their position in the club. There's rumours that not all's well in the back room. He's not disciplined enough with the players. So you have to believe there's something to it. Now, is it a done deal? Maybe not. But even if we win the last 4 games and we finish in the top half of the table, will he have the trust of the owners if the owners do feel he doesn't have control of the back room?
Is it a case of if we've achieved 41 points at a steady, consistent rate between now and the beginning of the season, this discussion wouldn't be taking place? And what it's all about is, the fact they've only won, is it 3 out of 17 since Christmas?
It could be, but not definitely. So let me explain a little bit. So if we were sitting 12th all season, that would have been great. I think he would have been okay. But if we had had a bad start of the season and a good run afterwards, he would have been gone by Christmas. The Pozzos don't have any patience with their managers. They've shown that. So he wouldn't have even had a chance to get through to this far in the year. So, but I think what could be the writing on the wall for him is something me and Kevin spoke about on the show actually before Christmas. About he seems not to have be able to make substitutions to impact the games, and it was something that people really weren't noticing while we were on the high and we were up in like 8th place and pushing on even further, looking to push on further. But it's panned out to be the case. We've fallen behind 17 times this season. And out of those 17 games, we lost 15 and drawn the other 2. We've not managed to pull back once. So it very much does seem to be a problem that he doesn't have a plan B once things go wrong. Again, he's got 4 games to try to prove that not to be the case. Is it too late to keep his job? Do the management trust him to be able to take us forward next season? Because if we start with the form we're on now, we'll be in the relegation position. So it's a shame. I love the guy. I think he's a great manager. I think he deserves a second season. But you've got to say the Pozzos know what they're doing. So.
Okay. So, is this, in a way, has the success that Leicester had this season, whereby they took the kind of championship or Premiership winning form from the back end of last season to escape relegation, and then carried it through to this season. Do you think that's also having some sort of effect, because people are, let's say, looking at Watford and thinking, oh, well, we could be, Watford could do a Leicester but in reverse next year?
Well, it certainly could be playing on the minds, because it does happen. You've only got to look at the form of Aston Villa towards the end of last season. They just escaped relegation. They were extremely poor, and they carried that straight on into the new season, and they're rock bottom. So that can certainly happen. So yeah, and again, unless he comes out with a new style of play or attacking style of play, and we win our next 4 games, then you would be looking at that scenario. And in which case, come Christmas, if we were bottom, the fans would be screaming, "Why didn't we get rid of Sanchez Flores in the summer?" So it's a difficult one.
Okay. Now, Keith Sanchez Flores has said that what great fans Watford have.
Yeah, he's made himself very well liked right from the beginning. The fans have fallen in love with him, and he really likes the area. He likes being at the club, and he's had a lot of support. And it's nice that he's recognising that. Okay,
that's great. Now, Joel Ekstrand said that said that he needs a club that are going to show some faith in him, sort of thing. And he's been at Watford 4 years, but he's been injured for the last 15 months or so, and it looks like he's going to be leaving in the summer.
Yeah, like you say, his contract's up. He basically said he wants out. He's unfortunately received an injury, so he never got a chance to even impress Sanchez Flores. But he was given a squad number, but he's never got anywhere near the match day team. And like any professional footballer, he wants football. So I definitely see him being on the way. And the rumours is he wants to go back to Italy, where he played before he came to Watford. We've also got another very disgruntled player, Stephen Berghaus, who was brought in on a big signing, was expected to play a big part as a winger, an attacking winger. But as everyone attacking football this year, they've played a more defensive game, and he's just been surplus to requirements. And he says he doesn't want another season like this. So I think whether he stays or not will depend on whether Sanchez Flores stays or not.
Okay, that's great. Now, we've already mentioned Aston Villa and how their bad form from last season carried on into this. That's who Watford are playing tomorrow at home. And Igalo's father died, and there's a lot of talk about whether or not he would be staying or going on compassionate leave. But apparently he's playing, and people are trying to draw some positives from that.
Yeah, it was a sad story. I mean, he was a very old gentleman, but it's sad when anyone loses their parents. And he decided to stay and play for his place, and he'll be playing in honour of his father, I'm sure, on the day, trying to put the thoughts out of his head. But he's an emotional chap, so it'll be interesting to see if he can do that on the day. Villa. Oh, this is a really worrying one, because they're rock bottom, relegated. We need a morale booster after the FA Cup win, but can you imagine the stories about Quique Sanchez Flores if we lose tomorrow to a team or rock bottom, who we're trying to make sure they have a worse points record than we did the first time we went down from the Premiership. So it's a worrying game tomorrow. How do a team react after having such massive disappointment in Wembley? It's going to be difficult.
So, okay, what does the heart say? What does the gut say? And what does the head say?
My heart says I want to see a win. I'm going to say a 2-0 win to Watford. I think maybe Sanchez Flores will throw caution to the wind and try to get a result to boost the players' confidence. But my head sees, I've seen so many times in football these sort of things happen, and draw probably in my head. My heart wants a win. It's probably going to be a draw.
Okay, right. Well, we won't hold you to that, but hopefully that Watford will get a win.
Yeah.
Which is something that unfortunately Watford ladies have been unable to do so far this season.
Yes. we've missed one little thing. Should we go back and just do Player of the Year?
Oh, sorry, yes.
So voting is now open for Watford Player of the Year and Goal of the Season. You just have to go to the Watford website. Hang on, let's see who it is. It's the Watford Observer got the link anyway, but it's on the Watford Says website, I'm sure. So Odi Nagalu has got a massive amount of the Goal of the Season nominations, half of them I think, and but I know which is my favourite. It's the Adeling Guardiola in the FA Cup semi-final, an absolute blaster, and looking down the list of goals, I can't see any of the other ones beating that, so we'll see. Player of the Season, Troy Deeney's won it the last 2 years. Gomez has to be a shoe-in. It has to be a shoe-in, in my opinion, this year.
Okay.
Kings Langley, was it?
No, we're going to talk about Watford Ladies.
Oh yes, Watford Ladies, yes. Yes, difficult start to the season. Again, 1 point from 3 games, losing 3-0 against Everton, and doesn't get any easier. They're playing Bristol City or up near the top of the table, so it's going to be another tough game. They're rebuilding from the start, Watford Ladies. They had a disappointment a few years ago of not getting into the top league, even though they finished in the promotion position. The Super League used to pick the teams they wanted to come up, and they didn't pick Watford. And since then, they lost quite a few players, and they're rebuilding from scratch. But the great news is the club is actually now supporting them, and they're getting the training facilities now that the rest of the team get, what the men's team get. And it's going to take a while to build them back up. But who are they playing? I've just hit the link. Sorry, I just lost the link.
Okay, these things happen.
But interesting stuff. They've got an opportunity to play at the ground at the end of the season, Vicarage Road. So they're against the Bees. So any Watford fans who fancy helping the women carry on, they'll be able to watch them at Vicarage Road.
Okay, that's great.
And sorry, yes, it's Bristol City. I haven't got the time. It'll be this weekend. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, great. No doubt the Watford Ladies FC website will have the information on it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Kings Langley, it's a bit of a fairy tale, isn't it?
Amazing story. Three leagues on the trot, and I mentioned last week that I was worried that they may not get promoted because of their ground. And that story seems to have gone away now, and no one's talking about that anymore. Everyone's talking very positive. So I couldn't find how the decision was come to, but that's gone away. So we can presume they're going to be going up into the next league next year.
Yeah, they beat Petersfield Town 1-0, didn't they?
Yeah, 1-0 away, and that gives them one more game to play, and that's away, and they're going to be putting on a coach. So if you want to get there, you have to contact Kings Langley FC website today to let them know you want to go on the coach, and then you'll be able to be part of the celebrations. The interesting thing is they've had an average gate attendance this year of 84, and they're going into a league where the other teams get about 500-600 fans turn up. So they need to build a crowd base if they're going to have any success at all next year. So they're now going to focus on building the club. The chairman stepped aside quite graciously, who's took him to this point, saying he needs someone to come in with a business acumen and a little bit of money to try to help the club out and build it from here. And he's under no illusion how hard next season's going to be. It's another huge step up, but we said that this season.
We did, and I don't think anyone thought that it would be 3 league titles on the trot, but they've done remarkably well, haven't they? I mean, they won it by, 4 points, wasn't it? They won their league.
Yeah, with a game to spare, and it looked like it was going to be really tight, but they kept the pressure on the whole time, and all the others slowly fell away. They did brilliantly.
Exactly. And tomorrow the extra game that you talked about is away at Cinderford, which is down in Gloucestershire, and it's a kind of Champions of Champions Cup game, isn't it?
I didn't know it was a Champions game, but no, the bit I was more interested in looking at is the fact that they were putting on a coach, which for such a small club I think is an amazing thing. They're putting on a coach, and they're letting people pay whatever they want to pay. to help out the club. There is no fee as well, so it's a really nice gesture to get some players, get some fans along.
Yeah, they're playing a team called Cinderford Town, who won, because Kings Langley play in the central and eastern bit, don't they?
Oh, I see. Yes.
They're playing a team who won the south and western part of that same division. So, and both teams are going to receive their trophies tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't realise it was both teams. Oh, that's a very strange scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's kind of nice, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice little thing to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Now, Fularians and Rugby Union. Basically, they did pretty well last weekend, didn't they, to celebrate their season-winning title?
Yeah, Fularians. They'd sewn up the title last week, and this week they went to town. 67-5 win. Oh, I tell you, it's much easier to do this. I'm doing some of this for newspapers this week rather than the internet, and it's not as easy. I'm going to go back to the internet next week. Yeah, I'd have to cut them out.
Yeah, it was a 64-7 win according to the Fularians website.
Yeah.
And they beat Staines, who were next to bottom and 11th in their league. So it wasn't much of a surprise, but it's still quite good going, isn't it, to get 64 points in the game?
It's a great way to celebrate winning the league, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely is the case. And finally, boxing. And Anthony Joshua has said who's going to be fighting next.
Yeah. So last week we knew he had a date booked, and now we know the name of the opponent. It's a hard-hitting American called Beasley. He actually went to the same Olympics as Anthony Joshua. Unfortunately for him, he got knocked out in the first round when Anthony Joshua went on to win the title. But I doubt if that'll have little relevance on the actual fight in June. It'll be a big punching match, but the way Joshua's going, he's got to be favourite by far, and then it'll be going on to having a unification belt, hopefully.
Okay, well, no doubt as more news breaks, you'll keep us up to date with that nearer the time.
Yeah, we'll be talking about how he's going in his training camp for sure.
Okay, that's great. And thank you for the sports news, Neil. And finally, it's time to talk about Link for Growth events that are happening next week. Tomorrow's Link for Coffee that Chris normally hosts at Barracuda is cancelled because, as you've just hopefully seen on the show, he's out the country in Budapest. But he will be back in a week's time or so. Then on Wednesday the 4th of May, Regis Watford on the Clarendon Road will be hosting the first Link for Coffee of May between 10 and 11:30. Everyone is welcome to turn up. This is usually a very well attended event, and it's a great location. It's pretty central and easy for people to get to. Then on Thursday, we're at Carpenter's Park at the Perk Coffee Shop for another Link for Coffee between 9:30 and 11 o'clock this time. And finally, this week, as usual, we have the Corporate Social Initiative Lunch on the first Friday of every month, held at Scotsbridge Mill between 12 and 2. And that's usually, again, numbers have been picking up recently with a number of people involved. I think there are about 12 or 13 last month or the month before, so yeah, numbers are coming back up, which is great to see. And that's it from me. I think thank you very much to Chris for joining us from Budapest.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And thank you to Neil for all the sport.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And thanks also to Francis, who's talking about the Erasmus programme, to Tania with the news, and to Catherine, if you can remember that far back, who had all the local charity and fun things to do this weekend and other events news. So on that note, it's bye-bye from me, and thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you do want to get in touch with us with ideas or suggestions, then please contact us via Twitter at Link for Growth, L4G, that is SW Hearts. That's at L4G SW Hearts. Bye-bye for now. See you next week.